If you can do one of these, then you can play this leader. Unfortunately, I can't really do one of these, so this might be kind of a short guide. So Rayleigh is our new leader from OP12's Legacy of the Master, and if you'd like to learn how to play him, here's everything you need to know. Rayleigh is a 5 life 5k power red leader that has a passive ability that states that we cannot put cards with a cost of 5 or more into our deck. He also has an activate main, once per turn ability that allows us to reveal 2 event cards from our hand and then give up to one of our characters with an original power of 4k or less, plus 2k power for the turn. So by the very rules of the game, Rayleigh outright restricts our deck building according to card cost. An unheard of restriction, even Marshall D. Teach doesn't lock us out of cost, so we're kind of locked into a weaker power character inherently, but Rayleigh's secondary ability allows us to pump those characters up and play a little mini game with our opponent that I'll get into later. Going over cards for this deck, we'll be hitting up Shakuyaku from OP12, a certified baddie who's a 1 cost, 2k power, 1k counter searcher. On play, she looks at the top 5 of your deck, allowing you to reveal either 1 Monkey D. Luffy card or red event card, then place the rest at the bottom. That might seem a little narrow, but be glad she isn't cutting that to a 4 search just for you to be able to pull out 2 different card types. Nami is our next auto-include, and since she's a manga reprint, we'll be using her in this deck for the next years to come. On play, she's a 1 cost, 2k power, 1k counter, who lets us look at the top 5 of our deck, and pull out a Straw Hat Crew type card, and put the rest at the bottom. Bear in mind, Nami is able to also search out for Straw Hat Crew events. This will be relevant later. Another searcher is OP12's Boa Hancock, a 2 cost 3k power character whose on-play ability lets us look at the top 5 and reveal up to 1 Monkey D. Luffy or red event and add it to our hand. Completely reminiscent of the former Empress turned barkeep Shakuyaku. But Boa also has an activate main ability that allows her to trash herself and give up to one of our leaders or characters 2 Rested Dawn. And the final searcher we're running is of course Buggy from OP3. A 1 cost 3k power character that on play searches the top 5 of our deck for a red event and bottoms the rest. Buggy is a green Zoro backbreaker, as he also has a passive ability that makes him wholly immune to being KO'd in combat by slash attributed characters, which is literally Zoro's entire deck except Hiyori, Perona, and Shimotsuki Kozaboro's on-play ability that allows him to KO rested 1 costs. So what's this Monkey D. Luffy we're searching for? It has to be low to the ground, impactful to play, and no, not any one of you guys. OP12's new Monkey D. Luffy is a 4 cost, 4k power, 1k counter red character with a passive ability. If you have 2 equipped Dawn on the field, this character gains plus 2000 power. He also has an on-play where we reveal 2 event cards from our hand, then play up to 1 red character with a power of 3k or less, then give it up to 1 Rested Dawn to one of our leaders or characters. A massively loaded card. 3 effects for 4 Dawn. Our 4 cost 4k power is actually a 4 cost 6k power, provided we're giving out Dawn like we should be. We can then multiplay out a 3k red character, and we'll get to those options soon, and give a Rested Dawn to any character, already clearing one of the Dawn equips for our passive. And remember how Rayleigh's leader effect lets you reveal 2 events? With this Luffy, we can go ahead and reveal the exact same 2 events to our opponent without giving additional hand information to them. This is that sort of fun opponent-based minigame I was alluding to earlier. Only you get to choose what to reveal and what not to. All these reveal tricks are an interesting mechanic and a great way to interact with our opponent. The same way we like to reveal our videos to members up to 2 weeks early as a thank you for supporting our channel. As well as emotes and other great perks, without your support we couldn't do videos like our latest curse tournament and more. So what are some other characters that follow us into the list? OP10's 3 cost 3k power 1k counter Sanji is an amazing card in this deck. He gets plus 3000 power during your turn, and on KO he draws you a card. But the reason why he's super good in this deck is that Rayleigh's leader ability, since it checks a character's original power of 4k or less, is able to pump this character to an 8k power character for no additional Dawn attachment. You can also multiplay the Sanji with OP12's Luffy, leaving you with a largely intimidating board. Another great card to toss in here is OP01's 2k counter, 2 cost, 3k power, Sanji. His activate main ability allows you to take life from the top of your life pile into your hand. Give this character plus 2000 power. Then, give this character up to 2 Rested Dawn, making him a boosted 7k attacker that can also still be boosted by Rayleigh's leader ability, pumping him up to a 9k 2 cost body. Plus with that 2 given Dawn, our 4 cost Luffy will get his power boost. This Sanji is also a good tech piece into decks that are looking to starve us out and deny us life card advantage. Also, it's able to be multiplayed out with Luffy. And of course, generically good red rush cards are always great, like OPO1's 5k power Rush Zoro, who is as simple as his card says, and EBO1's 4-cost 5k power Rush Kid and Killer, who has a when attacking ability that checks if our opponent is at 2 or less life. If so, give this character plus 2k power until the end of the turn. In terms of characters, yeah, that's mostly it. We have a total of 4 2k counters here and a whole bunch of characters that can be buffed by Rayleigh's ability. I bet you're thinking that's crazy, but wait until you see our events. So our deck is looking extremely defenseless right now. Well, Zero Cost Conqueror's Hockey is here to put your mind at ease. It's a counter event that gives up to one of your characters or Silver's Rayleigh's plus 2k power during the battle. Then you can rest an additional 1 Dawn to give all your opponent's characters and leader minus 1000 power during the turn. So if you play this into their full board of 5 characters, you can consider this card giving you plus 2k counter for the battle, plus an additional 1k counter for every body. At best, this card is essentially a 1 cost plus 8k counter. This card's effect can also stack. Play another one, and you get up to 16k counter off of 2 cards and 2 Dawn. Zero Cost Armament Hockey is a dual modal event that on main lets us attach 1 active Dawn card to our Silver's Rayleigh, give up to one of our leaders or characters plus 1k power for the turn, and a counter effect that counts itself as a 2k counter. That's a 2k power bonus for just 1 Dawn while doubling as a 2k counter. That's neat. Zero Cost To Never Doubt That Is Power is another zero cost dual modal event that's activate main, allows us to attach 2 Dawn to our Silver's Rayleigh cards. Then our opponent cannot activate blocker when that Silver's Rayleigh attacks during this turn. Imagine if Diable Jambe just also gave you plus 2k power. The caveat for this, of course, being that in this deck, only your Rayleighs can close out games with multiple blockers on the field. But hey, not bad, especially since it can also counter for 2k. And for the last of our OP12 Rayleigh event cards, Zero Cost Observation Hockey, a search event that attaches 1 active Dawn to our Silver's Rayleigh. Look at the top 4 cards to reveal either 1 red event or 1 cost 3 or greater character card and add it to our hand. It's mostly a 4-cost Monkey D. Luffy search tool, but it's great at successfully digging for optimal events and 3-cost characters like Sanji and Zoro. Note, all these Rayleigh event cards say 0 cost on them, but on our active turns, we should remember these are all 1 to 2 Dawn to play. It's also good to note that 3 of these events also count as 2k counters, so we're actually fine on the defensive power of this deck. Not like our opponents can handle not aiming for our board anyways. Other events to tech into are 2 years at the Sabaody Archipelago, which allows us to search the top 5 for a Straw Hat Crew type character card, trigger activate main, specifically because that 4-cost Luffy is so integral to our game plan. Gum Gum King Kong Gatling, a 2-cost event which allows us to give either our leader or character plus 3k power. Then if there's a character with 7k power or more on our opponent's field, give an additional 1k power to a character or leader. So we could either boost tall or boost wide if they have a big old blocker on their side. This in conjunction with Gum Gum Mulgun, a 4-cost main event that gives one of our opponent's characters minus 5000 power. Then if we have a 6k power or more character, KO up to 1 opponent character, 2k power or less. Really helps us break any fortress builds that are set up. Mulgun also meets its activation conditions much easier in this deck, with the amount of Rayleigh reveal buffing we can do into targets who could easily crack a Fortress Kid setup in either Smoker or Bonnie. So with these combination of characters and events, what is the straightforward path to play Rayleigh? Well, to be honest, there isn't one, and if there is, it's hinged all around 4-cost Luffy. We want to play our searchers out and pressure our opponent as quickly as possible. Both curves are great for Rayleigh, but knowing how to sequence and weave attacks is key. For instance, going first, we're definitely looking for a 1-drop play. Any 1-drop play. We'll use Buggy as an example here. Ideally, we're searching for Observation Hockey with this Buggy search, but any event in hand is a good event in hand. If our opponent is playing a green deck, Mulgun is a must, and if not, then our 0-cost Unblockable event is a great game closer. Turn 2, we'll want to reveal that Observation Hockey that our opponent already knows about, and 1 other event card to pump up our Buggy by plus 2k, making him a viable attacker. At this point, let's sequence correctly and swing with Buggy first. That way our opponents don't know what we're doing with the rest of our Dawn. We can then play 2 more searchers like Nami and Shakuyaku to try and find our 4-cost Monkey D. Luffy. Then let's pop our Observation Hockey, looking one final time for our 4-cost Luffy. It's very easy to whiff important tech pieces in this deck, but being able to pull out Luffy is almost always enough pressure. Attach our remaining active Dawn to Rayleigh and wham! A 5k hit and a 6k hit within turn 2. Turn 3 starts with us revealing event cards for our leader ability. And since we've done so much searching and drawing, we can reveal any previously known events or some fresh new ones to keep our opponent's memories clogged with what we have in our hand. Give that buff to any of our searchers, then play that 4-cost Luffy. We reveal those same exact events for Luffy's ability, playing out a 3k power or less Boa Hancock or 3-cost Sanji, and give that extra rested Dawn to the searcher we just buffed. If that's Nami or Shakuyaku, that now becomes a 5k attacker. If that buggy somehow is still alive, that's a 6k attacker. Or we can load it onto Rayleigh, with our remaining Dawn to make it a 7k attacker. Now our opponent is staring at a board full of red characters that need to be dealt with, or their hand size gets chipped to absolutely nothing, letting a stiff breeze of wind win us the game. Overwhelm and Overload is the key to our victory. When thinking about matchups for this leader, Blackbeard is easy pickings, and so is Green Zoro. GY Law also suffers from Buggy's slash protection, as well as playing as a virtually 3-life leader into our aggro deck. Enel and Bluzon are pretty hard, however, and GP Luffy does pretty alright into suffering a barrage of attacks, especially with the new 1-cost Demonic Aura 9-sword style Asura Dead Man's Game event rolling around. All in all, Rayleigh is the most complicated, straightforward leader in a while, requiring a wealth of fundamental knowledge as well as some tricky combat planning to make sure your opponent isn't able to properly guess your next swings. And as always, here are a couple of decks to help you get started. This deck placed top 4, going 9-1 in the Saikyo Championship Series, 3 vs 3. While this deck took first place going 8-0 in the Amaki Championship Series. And if you're looking for more leader guides or more fun One Piece content, check out the channel and subscribe.